Hey guys, so if you're like me and you're at work or something and you're looking at your phone, your portfolio, and you owned any Chinese stocks or companies based out of China, and you said, whoa, what the hell is happening? Because rarely do you see this big of gains, 20, 30, 40, 60% going off in a matter of just 3 to 4 hours. Like, what the hell is going on? I mean, you look at NIO, Xpeng, you got Lee going at 31%, Xpeng's at 30%, NIO's 26%. This was right out of the gates. Within 2 hours, this happened, right? You're sitting there going with Baidu sitting at 40%, JD sitting at 39%, Baba sitting at 38% for crying out loud. And then, look at this right here. Rarely do you see a regular ETF sitting with this kind of gain. But this right here is KWEB, K-W-E-B, and it tracks the Chinese stocks. And look at this, 41% on the day. But then it's 2x multiplier, which is another ETF. It gives you 2 times the return on this, and it tracks the KWEB as the CWEB, C-W-E-B, up 81% in one session. But of course, let's keep things in perspective here. This same CWEB ETF is down 84% even with that big move today, okay? You look at Alibaba. Look at this, from all-time highs to this point, even after this big run-up, down 67%. And then if you look at the point where a lot of people were getting in, was really around between probably 130 to 200 bucks. A lot of people are piling into this thing. That is still down almost 54%. And so now with Alibaba, what you gotta look at is all these, what used to be support levels are now resistance levels to get through. And some of them go way back. Like this one goes back to, I think, 2017 right here. And so I'm happy to see the green, thank God, finally. But let's be real, these stocks had nowhere to go but up. They were so far oversold and beat down. It was insane, to be honest with you. And so what happened? This is exactly what happened. This is somebody who actually is over there right now in China, not American news, but in China, to tell us exactly what they said and exactly what China did to turn this around for right now.
Eunice Yoon joins us right now. She's in Beijing. And Eunice, what a difference a day makes.
Oh, absolutely. Investors really took heart in some of the comments that we heard out of China's Vice Premier Liu He, who managed the trade relationship with the U.S., chaired a special meeting on financial policy planning. And in that meeting, he addressed a lot of the issues that have been weighing on investors' minds and pledged Beijing's support. So he said that Beijing would actively promote favorable market policies while prudently unveiling policies that could potentially do harm. He said that China would back overseas IPOs and was making positive progress with the U.S. on audits. On the internet firms, he said that China would rectify its online economy as soon as possible, but at the same time would offer support. So he called this a red light, green light scheme, which essentially means regulate those internet giants, but allow them to continue to grow and expand. He said that China would coordinate more closely with Hong Kong in order to try to stabilize that market. And it would roll out policies to, quote, invigorate the economy in the first quarter. A China securities regulator echoed some of the comments out of the vice premier, saying that they were working very closely with the SEC in order to try to come up with an audit deal as soon as possible. The regulator also said that it was going to be encouraging companies to buy back shares and also to get funds to invest more.
And so one thing we got to keep an eye on too is options. Like, is this a sustainable move? Or is it not, and we're just going to revert back and start heading back down?
Dom. In fact, yesterday in KWEB, which is, of course, an ETF that tracks a lot of those big internet stocks, some of which you just mentioned, Tencent, Alibaba, they traded 23,000 like that very, very quickly at the April 25 call strike. And that was when it was trading at near the lows of the day at about 23. We, of course, made up that by the end of the day. And in the pre-market today, you've already said, these are screaming higher. KWEB in particular, I think up better than 27% in the pre-market. We shot you a picture of that activity. They were buying these calls very aggressively throughout the day. They weren't the only ones, Dom. Alibaba also very aggressive, and Baidu also very big volume.
Is this the kind of volume, is this the kind of trading action that you would see that might suggest there's a sustained move higher? Or is this something where you feel as though it's a very short-term bet, and because of the moves that we're already seeing in just the last couple of days, that these bets could be closed out relatively quickly, just as quickly as they got put on?
Well, as you know, we love to look at the time frame. What were they buying? Were they buying options that expire this week? They could have. They weren't. They were buying them further out, Dom. So when they're buying them out in April, that's a full month out. Might not seem like a lot of time to some of your investors, but to some of us, that's forever, a month out into the future. So they're predicting that prices do continue to rise. What I'd like to see next, Dom, is I'd like to see them roll up to a higher strike. In other words, they were buying those 25s, with the stock now moving through, I think, almost 28 this morning, going deeper and deeper in the money. You would like to see them extend that trade further out into the future and perhaps at a higher strike, that 28 or even the 30 strike.
And so only time's going to tell if this is going to be something that, the SEC gets worked out with them, or is it just noise, right? And so, one thing to keep in mind, why China hadn't done this anytime sooner, and who knows why they picked to do it now. But remember, China and the United States are totally different in many ways, and one is how they invest. Over here, the stock market is everything, and then it's real estate, okay? Over there, it's all about real estate, and then there's the stock market, okay? But for them, I think it's like 70% of their investments are in real estate, okay? So that's huge. So for them, it didn't really matter. That's why they can pull off the stuff they're pulling, trying to rein in these companies how they want to rein them in, because the stock market is like a little brother compared to their real estate market. That's why they're doing everything they can to keep that real estate market propped up, right? Because that's where all the money is put into. Versus over here in America, what do you see us do? Our government props up the stock market right and left, right? Because they know that's where at least 70%, maybe even a little more than that, are in, as far as IRAs, 401ks, trading accounts, anything you can imagine. That's where it's at, right? And so that's why it's different. Why they chose this moment to come out, I don't know. I really don't know if it has something to do with any tensions or sanctions we were talking about. If they help Russia, I have no idea. But, enjoy the green. We'll see if it's sustainable from here on out. But, today's move was not only in them, but just in the market in general. When you got a Fed coming out, which if you look at them, they actually showed to be more hawkish today than I was even expecting, than most people were expecting. And the market still ran back up when Jerome Powell spoke. If you don't know what he said or what I'm talking about, you can look at this video right here. I'll link it to the end for you. So I just want to put that out there to you and let you know what's going on. And finally, good to see some stocks that have been beaten down, moving up, and that was a huge move. Okay, and don't forget Friday, obviously quad witching, which means all of options basically expire. It only happens 4 times a year. I'll put a video out there tomorrow, so I can kind of let you know what usually happens on that day. So we'll see what goes on Friday, but we still got Thursday tomorrow to see what happens. So hope you got some out of it. Hit the like, subscribe if you did, and watch this video if you don't know what I'm talking about when it comes to the Fed. And I will see you tomorrow.